It's John at Attainable Adventure Cruising, and the purpose of this video is to help you find the information you need to go cruising among our some 1,200 in-depth articles, 12 online books, videos, some 250 tips. And we're on the new page. You can see there are only 6 items on the menu. So we want to keep this really simple, and we want it to make work well on phones. And here you'll find the last 25 pieces of content we published. This is a new article here. And then if you scroll down, there are some tips. Tips are intentionally smaller so you can visually tell that they're less important than an in-depth article. If you're not a member, you can read if it is marked with free, and if it's marked with members, you can read just the introduction. Next, let's look at the books. There are 12 of them. They're on the most important things that we need to get right when we go cruising, and particularly offshore cruising, anchoring, going alongside. That's probably the 2 most important ones up there. Crew overboard, some really interesting insights in how to stay on the boat. And then we get into more nuts and bolts stuff, electrical systems, engines. Getting Out There is a really useful book because it really talks about just that. And then things that are important to all of us. How do we deal with heavy weather? How do we buy a boat? Maintenance, sail handling. We're going to use electrical systems. We'll click on that. We get a quick intro to the book. And then all the chapters are listed. So let's say we're trying to decide whether or not we want to go from lead acid to lithium. And here's a chapter that does exactly that. And this is what the chapter or an in-depth article looks like. You have a breadcrumbs which tell you where you are. And this also tells you that this particular article is a chapter within an online book. Interleaved throughout our books, you'll see this tip box, big takeaway from the article. So gray indicates a note, a bright pink box like this, and that's an alert. Typically something that you really need to remember, otherwise you could break something or things would go bad. Is a mini table of contents at the bottom of every chapter. One of the best parts of Attainable Adventure Cruising is the comments. Experienced cruisers who comment. We've got engineers. This is not just our wisdom, this is combined wisdom. Our comment system allows you to use formatting in your comment. You can also upload images. You can subscribe to all comments on the article, or you can just subscribe to replies to your own comments. Next, let's look at the topics menu. Some 1,200 articles and chapters. So how do you get around that? Well, the books is a great way, but there's also a ton of other stuff there. We have these article topics, which are hierarchical. So for example, we might want to go into boat design, and at the top of boat design, you then can see all the topics under that. And that includes, by the way, an online book. That's highlighted because the online books are where we put a huge amount of work. The whole idea in all of our stuff is to give you actionable information. We can also look at the tip topics. And these are the short hits. And the difference between tips and articles is that the entire tip appears in a list. And the next thing we need to think about is how do you search the site with interested in shore fast. And we get a list of all the articles, but that's a lot. We can also hit advanced search here. So for example, I'm going to search within Anchoring Made Easy, and we only get 4 posts that are specific to what we were interested in. The site, we can search the site using Google's search engine, standard Google search screen, but I've got a bunch of different ways to search. One more. Maybe just check the titles. We don't want to look at the underlying stuff. Let's do electrical. Just a couple of housekeeping things. Help right here. And there we have some pull down menus using the site name, and you can click on an account. And here, subscriptions, check your payments. Hopefully that was useful, help you get around the site. And thanks so much. Bye.